Hi survivors, now it is April 18th, morning 5:30. Now the country is fighting against freedom versus lives. Part of the groups, they wanted freedom. They say nobody can dictate us to sit at home. And part of the crowd says lives is important. If we are living, we can enjoy our life later. So now the fight is going on between freedom and corona. Yesterday, Florida governor declared that part of beaches are open and he has relaxed some of the rules of stay at home and other things. So here one CNN video, a small video, let's see.
In Jacksonville, Florida, where beaches reopened, and well, Randy, what happened next?
Well, Anderson, it was a mad dash here for the ocean. Once police gave the all clear, all the people who had been lined up in the streets waiting to get to the beach when they opened today at 5 p.m., they just flooded the area. They were biking, they were running, they were swimming, surfing, they were fishing, some of them. A lot of people brought their dogs. It was as if they had been cooped up for so long, for years. That's how they were behaving, when really it had only been about a month because they first closed this beach on March 20th. But this is what the mayor of Jacksonville is saying. He says, Lenny Curry is his name, he says that these are essential activities, that all of those activities, those recreational activities on the beach are considered essential, and they are well in line with the Florida governor's executive order. So he says it's okay. He is limiting the hours on the beach, Anderson, from 5 to 8 p.m., so it just closed a short time ago here, and also from 6 to 11 in the morning. So the hours in between there, the beach will be shut down. So we talked to some people. We asked them what it was like to be back on the beach today. We also asked them if they saw any social distancing, because from what we could see, there wasn't a whole lot of that going on. Take a look.
How does it feel to be back on the beach?
Yoo-hoo! Fabulous. We all live on it, and so it's been torture to be looking at it and not to be able to be out here.
What have you been doing instead?
Oh, sewing masks, reading, sewing masks, cooking, eating, gaining weight.
When you look around,
as if it doesn't last very long, but I'm just hoping people are kind of smart about it and just try to stay as far apart as they can and not ruin it for the rest of us.
how does it feel to have the beach open?
Oh, it's great. We live just over there. We've been waiting for this day to happen. Now I just hope that it'll stay open. There's so many people standing around, everyone's so close together. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it can't be worse than being on a golf course or being in the grocery store.
Do their social distancing here on the beach, try and keep 6 feet away from each other at least, but certainly we weren't seeing a whole lot of that. We saw people with coolers set up on their beach towels, sunbathing, so it didn't feel like there was really any hint that we were in the middle of a pandemic on this Jacksonville beach today, Anderson.
Now Virginia people are fighting for a reopening.
COVID-19 that have led to many businesses, all schools being closed, and telling people to stay at home, saying it is hurting the economy, and they feel that the impact of the virus has been overblown, and they, quote, want Virginia to reopen.
We're ready for Virginia to get back to work.
I think the shutdowns are inappropriate.
That's the message from those outside the state capitol Thursday.
Governor Northam has overstepped
Here to protest Governor Ralph Northam's executive orders that have closed many businesses and schools and told people to stay home in response to COVID-19. Some have been out of work because of those orders, including substitute teachers.
Unlike the full-time teachers who are paid on salary and still getting paid, if I'm not working, I'm not getting paid.
And many of those here also raise concerns this situation, which they say has gone too far, could repeat itself.
My concern is if we're going to set the precedents, that what happens if there's a flu? What happens if somebody sneezes? My goodness, it's allergy season.
In total, there were about 50 people on hand, with about half of them on the Capitol grounds. At one point, they were told by police to spread out more and practice social distancing.
I'm going to ask 3 times and then we're going to start writing summonses.
While the other half were locked out and protested through the fence line.
He needs to open up in a reasonable manner.
Including one of the founders of the group behind the protest called Reopen Virginia.
We're fed up. Like, people want to go back to work. I've got so many small business owners in my group that their business is falling. Like, they're worried about how they're going to pay their mortgage.
Now, Governor Northam issued a statement through his spokesperson in response to today's protest, and it reads, quote, Governor Northam will continue to make decisions based in science, data, and public health. He is grateful to the millions of Virginians who are taking this seriously and working together to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. As a doctor and as governor, his top priority is and will continue to be keeping Virginians safe. Now, Capitol Police say that no one was arrested and no summonses were issued as a result of this protest. And the organizers say they are planning a second wave of protests back.
This is California.
Hi, I'm Andy Mills, the Chief of Police. Hi, I'm Tony Elliott, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Hi, I'm Jason Hyduk, Fire Chief.
By direction of Santa Cruz County Health Department, I have ordered the reopening of parks, beaches, and trails in the City of Santa Cruz Park System. What that means specifically is that much of what has been closed in the past week will reopen, however, with some key exceptions. Basketball courts will remain closed, skate parks will remain closed, playgrounds will remain closed, and areas of parking along West Cliff and beach areas will also remain closed.
We're asking everyone in the city to adhere to the public health officer direction for shelter in place. Please consider wearing a face covering when out in public. You may not have symptoms and you may be shedding this virus and not.
And in Virginia again, people are fighting for freedom. Here is a really worrying news.
Today, President Trump egged on protesters in 3 states who are defying restrictions and demanding an end to stay-at-home orders. But each of those states is following guidelines from the president's own task force. And tonight, the governor of Washington state says the president may be inciting violence. Ben Tracy is at the White House tonight. Ben?
Nora, just 24 hours ago, President Trump said governors would call the shots when it comes to reopening their states and that he would support them. Well, the president is already breaking that promise. Protesters calling themselves Liberate Minnesota demanded Governor Tim Walz lift the state's stay-at-home order, despite a still rising number of COVID cases. Protesters in several states now have a powerful advocate, President Trump, who sent a series of tweets this morning to liberate Minnesota, Michigan, and Virginia, all states with popular Democratic governors.
If I thought we could go back to work tomorrow, that's exactly what we would do.
Lifting stay-at-home orders in any of these states would violate the president's own guidelines unveiled yesterday. Mr. Trump was asked if protesters should listen to him or their governors.
I think they're listening. I think they listen to me. They seem to be protesters that like me and respect this opinion.
Today, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo accused the president of shifting the burden of testing to states without providing resources to do it.
The state should this, the state should this, the state should this. Yes. Well, what support have you given the states? None.
The president, apparently watching Cuomo on TV, fired back on Twitter, saying Cuomo should spend more time doing and less time complaining.
If he's sitting home watching TV, maybe he should get up and go to work, right?
Vice President Mike Pence had a testy conference call with Senate Democrats today. He was asked why the president is sending out these tweets about liberating states, but did not have an answer. We've also learned the Trump campaign is planning to restart holding their campaign rallies because they believe coronavirus will pass. Nora?
All right, Ben. Thank you.
Hundreds of people protested Minnesota's stay-at-home order outside of the governor's residence in St. Paul today. President Trump tweeted his support for the group, writing in all caps, "Liberate Minnesota." Our Reg Chapman has more.
Some of Minnesota is pushing back.
Freedom and liberty. We're losing it.
Against the stay-at-home order that has left many shut out of a job during this COVID-19 crisis.
I feel like our jobs are all essential in the state of Minnesota, and I don't feel like any governor, even Governor Walz or anybody else, can't determine who or when we decide we want to go to work or where we work or anything like that.
Carrying signs saying "Liberate Minnesota," they are asking Governor Walz to allow all Minnesotans to go back to work. The majority of the crowd was not following social distancing guidelines. Many also didn't have masks on. What they did have was a determination to get everyone in the state back to work. Former Congressman now running for U.S. Senate Jason Lewis showed his support for the protesters. He tweeted, "Minnesota is being held hostage and we must reopen, and we must do it now." This group of President Trump supporters want immediate action. They want their lives back, and they say that begins by getting everyone back to work.
I'm a small business owner, and my business was shut down forcibly on the 17th of March, and I have yet to see any unemployment, any money come through from the government, and I'm sitting here without a paycheck with no definitive answer on when I will be returning to work, and I don't think that's right.
Reg Chapman, WCCO 4 News.
President Trump also urged his supporters to liberate Virginia and Michigan, two other states led by Democratic governors. It comes a day after the administration laid out a roadmap for gradually reopening the economy. Hundreds of people protested Minnesota's stay-at-home order outside of the governor's residence in St. Paul today. President Trump.
First half and second half. Let's see what's going on.
Last thing before we go tonight, having received their orders from headquarters, protesters, most of them self-identified Trump supporters, descended on the Michigan State House today. It doesn't matter that their state is in the midst of a state of emergency. The protest, dubbed Operation Gridlock, was organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition and the Michigan Freedom Fund, a DeVos family-linked conservative group. There were chants of "lock her up," in this case referring to Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The anti-Whitmer effort has been receiving air support from Fox News in prime time. Tucker Carlson this week accused her of auditioning for the Biden VP job. As the name of the protest implies, the protest was designed to cause traffic jams, and they succeeded. Those stuck in traffic included hospital workers trying to get to work in a hard-hit state in the middle of a pandemic, and for one of them, it just proved too much.
People, I have something to say. I work for Sparrow Hospital. How can I do my job if y'all idiots are blocking up the ways to get to the hospital? There are people dying every minute. And you guys, Trump supporters, want to block up everything and don't care about nobody else. What if it was your mother? What if it was your father? What if your infant son or daughter gets sick because you decide to go around and open up the windows so your kids and your family members can hang their heads out the window to support something that you have no business to do? This is ridiculous. It is unfair for the people that have to go to work every single day, especially in the hospital, to do their job. If y'all don't take y'all asses home, this is what I'm mad about. All y'all want to sit down there and pump your horn, hang out the window, throw your flag out because y'all don't like what somebody told y'all to do? Y'all some idiots. Total idiots. I can't do my job. I can't help anybody because y'all decide to block up every entrance way to get to the hospital.
Let's see how the counts of corona-affected people and counts of deaths in these states. Let's see. Here is the data of virus affected people. See, in Virginia, as of 17th, 7,491 people got affected and 231 people died. And it's like a death is not decreasing and daily effect is not decreasing. See, this is the confirmed new cases in Virginia on daily basis. See, on 13th, 473 cases. On 14th of April, 424 cases. On 15th, 329 cases. Then 16th, 389 cases. And yesterday, that is on April 17th, 602 new cases have been filed. And 23 people died yesterday. Almost like one person every hour died in Virginia. And here is the testing result. It's like 15% of people who have been tested are having virus. And here is the data of people who are on ICU versus ventilators. Say 400 people are in ICU struggling for life, and 224 people are on ventilators in Virginia. And yesterday in Virginia, 2,553 people have been tested and found 602 people, that is almost like 15%, having virus. Under this circumstance, people of Virginia are asking for the freedom, and they wanted to get out on the roads. They wanted to do jobs, and they don't care whether they live or not. Even they are ready to die as an orphan. See, let's see the data of Michigan. See, Michigan, total 2,227 people died and 30,000 people got affected. And statewide confirmed new cases. Of course, it is little bit coming down. So like here on 14th, it was 1,366 people got affected. And yesterday, it is 760 people got affected. And yesterday, 134 people died. It's almost like 6 people in 1 hour. Almost every 10 minutes, one person died. The percentage of test results are bit coming down by 1% or but it is not a big difference. It's like on April 9th, it was 32% of the test cases. And yesterday, it was 30%. 32%, 30%, there's no big difference. But let's see more numbers. So like on 10th, on 9th, okay, on 10th, 4,990 people have been tested and 1,179 people have been identified as positive cases for coronavirus. And yesterday, same 4,673 people have been tested and 760 people have been identified. Whereas this number is really alarming. People in ICU, 1,428, and people who are on ventilators, 1,167. People are struggling, and medical providers, they are struggling, and different even funeral homes, they are struggling. Let's say in the case of California, yesterday 95 people died. Graph is growing, and here also graph is growing, whereas number of cases. Almost like 4 people in an hour. Once in 15 minutes, person is dying. Yeah, one thing here is it is only 11% of tested cases are having as of now. 5,000 people have been tested, and 1,346 people have been identified as having coronavirus. 1,484 people are in ICU. Let's see in Minnesota. Yesterday 17 people died. And the graph is growing, confirmed new cases. Say from April 13th, 29, 45, 114, 103, and 159 yesterday. Confirmed cases. Let's see. Okay, this is 5% of cases. 5% of cases are having virus. Yesterday they have tested 1,378 and found virus in 159 people. And here 106 people are in ICU, struggling for life. Under this circumstance, people are fighting for freedom. They wanted to go into beach, or they wanted to go to work for earning daily wages. Of course, it is difficult, but life is more important. Why don't they understand? It is not one person whether you live or not live. But if one person goes out and gets the virus, he is going to spread to the rest of his family members. I really don't understand why some leaders are instigating people to fight. See, this is Florida. Yesterday 53 people died and 1,222 cases have been registered yesterday. Yesterday they have tested for 15,589 and found 1,222 people having virus, and there is no information about ventilators or ICU about Florida. It's increasing. So this is the status of different states. They are fighting for freedom, so-called. One thing everyone should understand: if they are alive, then only they can enjoy the freedom. And government is telling to be safe, be at home. Let's meet once again with more information. And to get more information, subscribe. Once you subscribe, you will get the notification of my next video release. Till then, be safe, be at home, irrespective of anything. Be at home. You be safe and keep others safe. Few days, if you suffer, that no problem. But later, you have full life to enjoy. Thank you. Take care.